second here.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Good morning, George.
Aunt Julie! Dear Aunt Julie, way out here so early in the day, huh?
You know, I simply had to look in on you a moment.
And that without a decent night's sleep?
Oh, that's nothing at all to me.
We were sorry we couldn't drive you up, but you saw for yourself. Had all those boxes to bring along.
Yes, that was quite something, the number of boxes she had.
Sorry, I think I confused myself here. Give me a second.
What happened? You know,
No,
I
skipped
don't
the
have.
line.
Can we start over because
Yeah.
I forgot to pin.
Yeah, pin him.
I forgot to pin Kevin. Okay, so let's start from the top. That kind of threw me off.
Yeah, and I
Was it flipping
skipped
back
the
to you,
line.
Miriam?
What?
Well, you get
Was it
more
flipping back to you when you were talking?
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see myself too
Yeah,
much. Okay.
Very distracting. That's why I
It
don't have
was-
mirrors in the back of the
It
class.
was distracting. Okay, here we go. From the top. Good morning, George.
Aunt Julie! Dear Aunt Julie, way out here so early in the day, huh?
Yes, you know, I simply had to look in on you a moment.
And that without a decent night's sleep.
Oh, that's nothing at all to me.
Well, you did go home all right from the pier then, huh?
Well, of course I did, thank goodness. Judge Breck was good enough to see me right to my door.
We were sorry we couldn't drive you up, but you saw for yourself Hedda had those boxes to bring along.
Yes, that was quite something, the number of boxes she had.
Just think, Aunt Julie, I had that whole suitcase stuffed full of notes. You just can't imagine all I've managed to find. Rummaging through archives, marvelous old documents that nobody knew existed.
Yes, you've really not wasted any time on your wedding trip, George.
I certainly haven't. But do take your hat off, Andy. Here, let me help you with that.
Goodness, this is exactly as if you were still back home with us.
My, what elegant hats you go in for.
I bought it for Hedda's sake.
For Hedda's sake, huh?
Yeah, so Hedda wouldn't feel ashamed of me if we walked down the street together.
You think of everything, Auntie. Suppose we sit down on the sofa, have a little chat till Hedda comes.
Oh, how wonderful it is having you here right before my eyes again, George. You dear Jockham's own boy.
And for me too, to see you again, Aunt Julie. You have been father and mother to me both.
Yes, I'm sure you'll always keep a place in your heart for your dear old aunts.
But Auntie Rena, isn't she any better?
Oh no, we can hardly expect that she'll ever be better, poor thing. She just lies there, just as she had all these years. May God let me keep her a little while longer, because otherwise, George, I don't know what I'd do with my life. The more so now when I don't have you to look after.
There.
No, but to think of it, now that you're a married man, and it was you who carried off Hedda Gabler, the beautiful Hedda Gabler, imagine. She, who always had so many admirers.
Yes. I rather suspect I have quite a few friends who'd like to trade places with me.
And then to have such a wedding trip, 5, almost 6 months.
Well, don't forget I use it for my research too. All those libraries I had to check, so many books to read.
Yes, no doubt. But listen, George, isn't there something special you have to tell me?
From the trip?
Yes.
No, I can't think of anything beyond what I wrote in my letters. I got my doctor's degree down there, but I told you that yesterday.
Yes, of course, but I mean whether you have any kind of expectations.
Expectations?
Ah.
Why, naturally I have expectations. I have every expectation in the world of becoming a professor shortly.
Oh, a professor, I see.
Or I might as well say I'm sure of it, but Aunt Julie, you knew that perfectly well yourself.
That's right, so I do. But we were talking about your trip. It must have cost a terrible amount of money.
Yes, but that big fellowship, took us quite a bit of the way.
But I don't see how you could have stretched it enough for two.
No, that's not so easy to see, huh?
And especially traveling with a lady, for I hear tell that's much more expensive.
Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but Hedda just had to have that trip. She had to. There was nothing else to be done.
No, no, I guess not. A honeymoon abroad seems to be the big thing nowadays. But tell me, have you had a good look around your house?
You bet I have. I've been up since daybreak.
And how does it strike you all in all?
First rate. Absolutely first rate. Only I don't know what we're going to do with the two empty rooms between the back parlor and Hedda's bedroom.
Oh, my dear George, I'll think you'll be able to use them as time goes on.
Yes, you're quite right, Aunt Julie. In time as I build up my library, huh?
Of course, my dear little boy, it was the library I meant.
I'm happiest now for Hedda's sake. Before we got engaged, she used to say so many times there's no place she'd rather live than here, in Secretary Falk's townhouse.
Yes, and to have it come on the market just after you sailed?
We really have had luck, haven't we, Aunt Julie?
But expensive, George dear. You'll find it expensive, all this here.
Yes, I suppose I shall.
Oh, Lord, yes.
How much do you think, approximately,
Well, it's impossible to say till all the bills are in.
Well, fortunately, Judge Breck has got me quite easy terms. That's what he wrote Hedda.
Don't worry about yourself about that, dear. I've also put up security to cover the carpets and the furniture.
Security? Aunt Julie, dear, what sort of security could you give?
I took out a mortgage on our pension.
What? On you and Auntie Rena's pension?
I saw nothing else to do.
But you're out of your mind, Aunt Julie. That pension's all Aunt Rena and you have to live on.
Well, don't make so much of it. It's just a formality. Judge Breck said so. He was good enough to arrange the whole thing for me. Just a formality, he said.
Well, that's well enough, but still.
Well, you'll be drawing on your own salary soon. And what other joy do I have in this world?
Oh, Aunt Julie. You never stop making sacrifices for me.
No. Without a father or mother to turn to. And now we've come to the goal, George. Things may have looked black at times, but now, thank heaven, you've made it.
Yes. Remarkable, really, how everything's turned out for the best.
And all those that stood against you, who tried to bar your way, they've gone down. They've fallen, George. And the one most dangerous to you, he fell farthest and he's lying there in the bed he made. Poor misguided creature.
Have you heard news of Eilert since I went away?
Well, only that he's supposed to have brought out a new book.
What's that? Eilert Loveberg? Just recently, eh?
So they say, but considering everything, it can hardly amount to much. But when your new book comes out, it'll be a different story. What will it be about?
It's going to treat the domestic handicrafts of Brabant in the Middle Ages.
Oh, just imagine that you could write about things like that.
Actually, the book may take quite a while still. I have such a tremendous collection of material to put in order, you know.
Yes, collecting and ordering. You do that all so well. You're not my brother's son for nothing.
I look forward so much to getting started. Especially now, with a comfortable home of my own to work in.
And most of all, dear, now that you've won her, the wife of your heart.
Oh, yes, Aunt Julie. Hedda. That's the most beautiful part of all. Oh, but I think she's coming, huh?
Yeah. Good, you guys. Very good. This is coming along nicely. So, question.